Hey, Pastor Steve Waldron here. One of the greatest books on Pentecostal history ever written, After the Way Called Heresy by Tom Weisser. Tom Weisser is a graduate of Apostolic Bible Institute, but he's gone on to become this amazing scholar. He's spoken at Harvard University. He's friends with like the librarian at Oxford who helps him find all kind of stuff. And so this is just, I've used this as a textbook at IBC. I'll show you the back. It's got a timeline of oneness believers throughout history. And so he finds quotes that are unavailable other places. I've actually read quotes that he's got from Martin Luther and John Calvin against the Trinity in here, even though I do know both of them are Trinitarians, and obviously Calvin ended up killing Michael Servetus on October 27, 1553 for not being a Trinitarian. Would debate him, you know, he's got Servetus starving to death in a prison, and he comes to debate him and all this stuff. They had met like 20 years before. I tried to read every biography on Michael Servetus that is available. But this is just incredible. It goes into the Moravians and Wesley. I'm not sure if Isaac Watts in here. They've since discovered Isaac Watts was oneness. It has a huge section on William Penn, who was oneness. So you say, what state was named after a oneness person? You know, obviously that is Pennsylvania. But the 1st century, 2nd century, 3rd century, 5th, 6th, and 7th century, a lot of Catholic synods, councils, decrees coming out against oneness, showing that oneness was still in existence because it wouldn't be constantly coming out. The Priscillianist, I think he's since written a great book on Priscillian, who was killed for being oneness in Trier, the 3rd largest city in the Roman Empire, written on the Quakers. You know, 4 Quakers were killed in Boston because they wouldn't believe in oneness. Marmaduke Stevenson, William Ledra, William Robinson, and of course Mary Dyer is the most famous of those that died. John Greenleaf Whittier memorialized her in that poem in the 1860s, 80s, I can't remember. You know, he was a Quaker poet, and Mary Dyer hung like a flag because of her long dress. So, I mean, this is Almeric of Benya, Peter Abelard, he's very famous. The Bogomils, for hundreds of years in the Eastern Empire, they were oneness. Megetitus, Dymenius, the Miscellanians, the Euthites, the Lateran Council, just so many. Of course, all the bishops of Rome up through Callistus were oneness. Marcellius, Sabellians, on and so forth. So, great little book of church history, even if you're not oneness, whatever. Great book. I think you'd find some fascinating things in here. Bernard Chino, just amazing. So God bless. Talk with you later in Jesus' name.